Chicago. Hog butcher for the world. Tool maker. Stacker of wheat. Player with railroads and the nation's freight handler. Stormy, husky, brawling. City of the big shoulders. They tell me you are wicked and I believe them. For I have seen your painted women under the gas lamps, luring the farm boys. And they tell me that you're crooked and I answer, yes, it is true. I have seen the gunmen kill and go free to kill again. And they tell me you are brutal, and my reply is, on the faces of women and children, I have seen the marks of wanton hunger. And having answered so, I turn once more to those who sneer at this, my city, and I give them back the sneer and I say to them, come and show me another city with lifted head, singing so proud to be alive, and coarse, and strong, and cunning. Fierce as a dog with tongue lapping for action. Cunning as a savage pitted against the wilderness. Bareheaded, shoveling, wrecking, planning, building, breaking, rebuilding. Under the smoke, dust all over his mouth. Laughing with white teeth. Under the terrible burden of destiny, laughing as a young man laughs. Laughing even as an ignorant fighter laughs who has never lost a battle. Bragging and laughing that under his wrist is the pulse, and under his ribs, the heart of the people. Laughing, laughing the stormy, husky, brawling laughter of youth. Half naked, sweating, proud to be hog butcher, tool maker, stacker of wheat, player with railroads, and freight handler to the nation. Call Sandberg, Frankie. It touches me how he seems to feel about this town exactly the way I do. What I wouldn't give, be able to express my feelings in words like his.
I think it's really beautiful, Al.
It is, Frankie.
Okay, get the body cleaned up and make sure you get this money logged and get this crowd. Well, what do we have here? Aren't you feds a little out of your territory? I think I saw a speakeasy around the corner, Ness. The press is here. Why don't you go chalk up another front-page victory?
Any thoughts on the nickel in his fist, Lieutenant?
Not for publication, sweetheart.
Correct me if I'm wrong, McKay, but a nickel in the fist is a sign that Capone uses when he's trying to send someone a message.
This investigation's under my aegis, Ness. If this is your usual half-assed offer to cooperate, don't waste your breath.
Investigation?
Yeah.
When was the last time the Chicago Police Department conducted an investigation into a serious crime in the ghetto? Has the cat got your tongue, McKinney? My gift to you. Try not to get your greasy fingers over it.
Thanks. Get this body out of here. Come on, move it!
Well, looks like you've got yourself an exclusive. When's your deadline?
Sometime next month, if I'm lucky. The story will never make it into the paper. In the newsroom, it's what they call a cheap murder.
Why? Because the victim is colored?
You don't sell a lot of papers on this side of town.
This was no ordinary crime.
No. The kid had to have been known in this neighborhood as a runner for the policy racket. And yet the killer never touched his bankroll.
Hopefully this is an angle I can sell to my editor, but I'm gonna have to do some digging. I don't know anything about this.
Think of it as a lottery. Illegal, but wildly popular. Handout sheets like this are distributed twice a day with the winning numbers.
So it's big business?
It's huge. Hundreds of thousands of people play every day. There's a policy station on every corner of the Negro South Side.
I wonder if Capone wants to muscle in on it.
Take care, Dottie.
Mike, I don't want him getting a foothold in another racket. I don't want him on the South Side at all.
We're not doing too good on the South Side. Those Ace of Hearts guys, they're really putting up a fight.
They still don't understand how we benefit from the system that we got set up in this town. It's our system, Frank. We got Big Bill elected. We appoint the aldermen who control the precincts. I mean, the only reason these policy wheels are still in existence is because of the political climate that we created. We get 1/6 of the gross from every gambling operation in the city. Everybody pays. Why should these people get a free ride?
There's a colored guy named Taylor. Tried to see us a couple, 3 times last week. Now, he says if we want a piece of the action down here, we gotta have a dark face representing us. He was volunteering to do the work.
Colored race has a lot of courage and talent, Frank. And there's thousands of them coming in every day from the South. It's a huge market. And it's a market I definitely want to get involved with.
There's a war going on down here, Mr. Ness. We never had these killings before the white gangsters started moving in here.
I need every scrap of information you can give me. I'm trying to build a case against the people who murdered your son.
My son was not the first victim.
Who were the others?
I don't know their names. All I know is that for the past few weeks, Kenyon was scared every time he left the house. He said that he had had many friends who had been beaten and some were killed. I don't know how a man like Al Capone can live with himself. All he's after is our money, and he's willing to kill our children to get it.
No one wants to stop Al Capone more than I do, Mrs. Murray. Spread the word. I need all the help I can get.
You ought to try and buy more often, Frank. You know, I hear the sweet bands you're booking at the Four Deuces really stink. Anytime Capone is ready to hire some real musicians, I'm your man.
No, I'm not here to talk about music.
Couple of drinks. Let's wait, boys. You white boys got a serious problem. You don't know what the hell you're doing down here. With your boss's heavy-handed tactics, he's making some real blood enemies down here.
You know, Taylor, sometimes you just don't have a choice.
Ah, but you do have a choice. So, I hear you want to skim a 6 from the Ace of Hearts, will you?
That's right, 16%. That's what we get from all our protective associations.
Damn, I thought you guys dreamed big.
If you've got another proposition, I'd be more than happy to hear it.
You ever heard of Reginald Jones?
One of the king of the wheels. He runs the Ace of Hearts.
That's right. Only he's getting soft, lazy. He's not watching the shop like he used to. He's got all these half-assed political ambitions.
What if I was to tell you that we've always had a hard time establishing ourselves here in the colored neighborhoods? That our brothels and our speakeasies have never turned the kind of profits we've been looking for down here.
It's like I said, the people down here aren't gonna do business with the massa. See, niggas are like a bunch of sheep. They do what the preachers and the policy kings tell them to do. They stay away from Capone's whorehouses and speaks because they're told to stay away. But you put a dark face on your interest down here. This dark face. And the rest will follow.
You wanted to see me, Tommy?
We got some upscale Gold Coast grays taken in a late show. Make sure you throw out any undesirables and don't let any more in.
How undesirable?
Don't let you in. I only want to see tan and yellow in here tonight. High yellow.
Man, this ain't right.
Oh, I ain't good enough? I ain't good enough?
This ain't right.
Come on,
What we do, man?
Nothing I can do, all right?
I'm just as black as you.
Assuming Al goes for your idea, where do we go from here?
You follow my lead.
Brothers and sisters, with your support, we can ensure that all our children will live in a very different place. A Chicago where every business south of 47th Street will be Negro-owned, employing Negro workers, and reinvesting its profits in the Negro community.
Elliot.
Just to say, I wanted to see a real live policy king in the flesh.
He's more than that, Elliot. Reginald Jones has a vision. He may have a big political future in this town.
We all know a brave young man named Kenyon Murray was killed last week. Killed by white racketeers in their attempts to intimidate us into turning over to them what's ours. Now, while we won't be intimidated, I can no longer in good conscience ask our runners to risk their lives by distributing the slips with winning numbers. Instead, we've come up with a very up-to-date alternative. That's why I'm so happy that our good friend, the Reverend Wesley Cobbs of the Second African Methodist Episcopal Church, is here to lend his very special kind of support in our efforts to keep these white thieves out of the South Side. Reverend Cobbs.
Yes, sir.
Now, what does the scripture tell us? Are you all ready now? For the scriptures will give us the answer. It is harder for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven than it is for a camel to go through the eye of a needle. Matthew chapter 19, verses 23 and 24. Matthew chapter 19, verses 23 and 24. Remember, all the proceeds will go back
We
into
won,
our...
Mommy. We caught the
Come, follow me, Jesus said. Then I say, amen.
He's here, Frank.
Yes, sir.
Say hello to Reginald Jones.
I've been looking forward to this, Mr. Jones. Al Capone sends his regards. He's impressed by you. He admires your courage and your vision.
Is that why he's trying to run me out of business?
Sit down. You've got a big political future, and we can help you. We're looking for a committeeman for the 23rd Ward. And Al would also like to make an offer for the policy wheel. He'd like to negotiate a fair price.
The Ace of Hearts is not for sale, and even if it was, I wouldn't sell it to you. The lottery's the only thing we have down here. And I will not allow it to fall into the hands of white crooks and gangsters.
We're gonna leave the offer on the table for 2 days. Mr. Capone would like to do the right thing.
Then tell him to stay the hell out of this community.
Last week. Sooner the better. Whenever he gets ready to roll on out, you know I can use this. I had a hunch.
Things are changing down here, nigger. Get down! Get down! Get down! Let me get the wall. Yeah, you too good. Greetings from Al Capone and Tommy Taylor.
right, darling. It's all over now. Daddy's here. It's okay.
Reginald, what are we going to do?
There's only one way we may be able to win this thing.
Now, according to our anonymous informant, this warehouse has 4 stainless steel vats in it, each containing ethyl alcohol. Now, it's straight from a medical warehouse, 150 proof.
You figure Snorky blends this with his local brew?
Well, it's as good a guess as any. Come on, boys, let's go.
Last time we followed one of these anonymous tips, it was pretty embarrassing.
You mean that shipment of French garter belts we impounded?
Federal agents, put your hands in the air. Holy Mother of God.
Stand your ground, man.
We can set up. It's an ambush.
Not an ambush, just a conversation. But before we talk, I think it might be wise if your men put their weapons down. You're completely outgunned, Mr. Ness.
Do as he says. You got us down here. What do you want?
There's an old saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And in Al Capone, you and I certainly have a common enemy.
That's all we do have in common, Mike.
What are you suggesting, Mr. Jones?
I'm suggesting that we help one another.
Help each other how?
By combining forces, sharing information, fighting our common enemy together.
We're federal agents, sworn to uphold the law. You run the largest gambling ring on the South Side. We can't do business with a racketeer.
The numbers racket, a terrible vice.
Someday, gentlemen, the state of Illinois will run one of these lotteries.
Policy isn't a racket, Mr. Ness. It's a business. The biggest Negro-owned business in the city. It puts food on people's tables and a roof over their children's heads. It also provides hope.
That's what Capone says about his operation.
Capone has declared war on my people, Mr. Ness. If we lose, he will ruin our community. Now, because of revenues from the Ace of Hearts wheel, we have financed over 43 colored, owned, and operated businesses in the last 6 months alone. But all of that will end if Capone takes over the Ace of Hearts.
I wish you luck in your struggle, Mr. Jones.
Capone's entire liquor operation is located on the South Side. I know where his warehouses are. I know his delivery routes. And I know when those deliveries are made.
And if you and I work together, we can sink Capone.
Mr. Ness, alone, my war with Capone is unwinnable, and so is yours. But the band is about to play. Shall we dance?
Remember when I drove my mother to Union Station last week? Well, there was this colored man speaking at a rally, and I stopped and listened, and he said some things I haven't been able to get out of my mind since. And I guess it's obvious once you think about it, but there are no Negro cab drivers in this town. No Negro sales clerks, no Negro phone workers or cops or firemen or construction workers. He said that all the businesses in the Negro area of Chicago are white-owned, and that the profits from those businesses go only into the white community. And then he mentioned Reginald Jones and said that what he was trying to do was build this economic base for his people.
That's the party line, but Jones is past. The man has lived his whole life one step ahead of the law. Do people really change?
Remember Louis Basile? Elliot, you spent time with Jones. You're a good judge of people's character. Why don't you just go with your instincts?
Ness and Jones joined forces.
Do whatever it takes, Frank. Another week like this, and you and me are gonna be out on the streets peddling our own boots around.
Let's see what Taylor can do. Maybe he can hurt them the way they torpedoed us.
I don't see what we got to lose. Turn them loose.
Capone thinks he can take over this policy wheel, but we're not going to let him. The Ace of Hearts policy wheel is alive and kicking and bigger than ever. Our handle on Tuesday was the largest in history. Our payoff on the two-legged book set an all-time record. And every dime of Tuesday's profit will be reinvested in Chicago's Negro community. Is there anything you people want to say to Mr. Alphonse Capone, the man who wants to hijack the Ace of Hearts and invest his profits into his own pocket? Don't mess with our dreams, or did you hear? No more Obey muscles on the Black South Side. The Ace of Hearts facility was permanently ruined, but it ain't gonna stop us. We're going mobile into the streets for everyone to see. We'll show 'em.
Yeah, I heard that.
Verona! You Verona?
Yeah?
Your father asked me to come pick you up today.
My father told me never to go home with anybody but my mother.
Well, he told me different. Please, honey, come on. He's taking you to the circus today. Please, we gotta hurry. Now, this will be over real soon if you just do as you're told. Oh, don't cry. Your father's coming to get you as soon as he knows where you are. Sit down, honey.
Look at this. Cutest little policy queen on the South Side. You like chocolate ice cream, Verona? Oh, that's too bad. Because you're gonna have to write this letter anyhow to your daddy. Dear Daddy. What, you didn't hear what I said? Pick up the pencil, you little pickaninny. Talk to a dark man.
Verona, you better do as he says.
Dear Daddy, don't bother coming to look for me unless you're willing to make a deal.
Tommy Taylor made my baby write this.
How do you know this was sent by Tommy Taylor?
Oh, who else? He's fronting for Capone on the South Side. Taylor is a climber. He's a self-loathing fool. But before he falls, and he will fall, my daughter could be dead. It looks like I'm the fool.
Kidnapping is a federal offense, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. Now, our office has certain recommended procedures to deal with it.
What
kind of procedures?
Well, for instance, in the Lindbergh kidnapping case, they used marked bills in the ransom money. That was how they were able to convict Bruno Hauptmann.
And we know what happened to the baby. Found dead in a ditch.
Oh. We're asking for your cooperation.
No. No, I'm folding. They can have the Ace of Hearts. They can have our house, our cars. They can have anything they want. I just want my baby back.
If you knuckle under to Capone, your community will never be the same ever again.
I won't do anything that will jeopardize the life of my little girl. Our war down here is lost.
For the safe return of his daughter, Mr. Jones is prepared to talk business.
There's nothing to talk about. We get it all. The entire Jones operation. Okay, his policy stations, his paperwork, his employees. They all answer to me now. Oh, and the Capone syndicate, of course.
You realize you're dealing a terrible blow to the future of your own community?
Hell, we even want that damn drum with the little numbered balls. Everything, Reverend Cobbs. And I mean all of it.
You're a colored man. How could you turn your back on your brothers and sisters like this?
Hey, I'm just looking out for my own man. Now, do we have a deal or not?
Unfortunately, yes. Just return the little girl safely. Do I have your word on that? Elcott Street, 10 o'clock. Make sure the little girl's there.
What if she doesn't show up? What if she's dead? Is that them?
Hey, you get the news? All guys will handle the Ace of Hearts slips from now on.
Yes, sir.
All matters concerning payoffs will go directly through me. Do you understand?
I do.
Step and Fetch It here will be stepping and fetching it every day at 3:30. Make sure the money's ready for him. Is that clear?
I ain't deaf and I ain't stupid.
Well, ain't that refreshing? Listen, I want an honest count from you, nigga. All discrepancies are handled by Capone's people, and I know you don't want that.
You take that from him?
Now that's better. You believe that fool?
That's a wrong way to live your life, boy.
White man, plucky.
Sweet, isn't it, brother? Our first day's handle should be right on the money.
I want you to meet Mr. Capone.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Capone. Thanks for coming down.
How's it going?
Been spreading the word. So far, the transition's been real smooth.
That's good. Because I got a lot of money tied up on this move. And I want to make sure my investment pays off down here.
Don't worry about it. I'm personally sending a message to every last Geechee on the payroll. As you know, this is a cash business. There's a lot of ways to steal.
Like I told you, it's got the right slant on this thing.
Well, you know, when you're dealing with spooks, a little fear goes a long way. Boy, I got them so scared, you need a circus trainer to get them out of the trees.
All right, Tommy. Go take care of business.
I don't trust him, Frank.
Why not?
I don't approve of his methods. And I don't trust a man that has such contempt and disrespect for his own people. Let's go.
Giving up?
Without the wheel, I can't make the payments on the building.
So, you're gonna close up and walk away, just like that?
I'm a survivor, Mr. Ness. Don't worry about me or my family.
Look at them down there. Business as usual, just like it was yesterday or the day before. Do these people understand what's really going on out there?
I doubt it. They know the Capone took over, but they don't really grasp the consequences.
And there must be some way that you can let them know.
It's a great tragedy, Mr. Ness. For a moment, we had a chance to make some fundamental changes down here. Chance is over now.
But if things down here are really the way you say they are, maybe there is something we can do.
Capone has a standing army, Mr. Ness. The course of action you're suggesting would put our community in grave danger.
Reverend, if Capone were to succeed, as I think he will, and opens new speakeasies and whorehouses all over the South Side, would you fight him then?
Of course, there would be no choice.
Only then, it will be too late. Your only chance is to fight now before Capone has dug himself in. You know this Reginald Jones far better than I do. Is he truly a good man?
Yes. I was truly convinced he has the potential to lead us in a whole new direction.
Then what's your hesitation?
Brothers and sisters, we find ourselves in a great depression. We find ourselves jobless, homeless, full of despair, empty of hope. And in the absence of hope, some of our people will succumb to temptation. They will turn to crime that is being organized in our community by a white man, Al Capone. Crime that is also being fought by a white man. Mr. Elliot Ness has been waging a war against the evil that has gripped our city, and now the time has come for us to join him. Good Lord, ask that you resist the great presence that is enveloping us. Resist the Capone-Taylor Ace of Hearts wheel like you would resist the devil himself. And the good Lord also told us to never allow ourselves to be yoked by non-believers. For it is their deceit that will lead us on the road to ruin. Give us the strength to resist temptation. Hallelujah. If you're listening, say amen.
Amen.
biblical times, we know the classic struggle of David and Goliath. And today, that same battle.
None for me, thank you.
No, we listen to what the preacher's saying from now on.
We ain't giving you no more of my money.
You understand that, Tommy? You're going away from here, Tommy. You might as well just get on out of here.
Take it on down the street.
We don't need you around here. No action.
With all our collective strength, striking a fatal blow to this...
Al, don't worry. A policy fiend is like a junkie trying to go cold turkey. They'll be back as soon as we...
Shut up! You hear me? I said shut up! Wipe that friggin' smile off your face, or I swear to God I'm gonna pop you right here. This is what I get for dealing with a man who hates and humiliates his own people. Now we take over the biggest policy wheel in Chicago. And what happens? Huh? Nobody wants to play. Now what am I supposed to do? Huh? Am I supposed to force 100,000 people to play Al Capone's policy wheel? The people have spoken. The idea was great. The timing was great. It was you that stunk up the place. All right, that's it, Frank. Get our guys out of there.
Oh, wait a minute. We'll be back on top, okay? All we need is a little time, you know, a little muscle.
Muscle, huh? I think the only muscle you got is between your ears. It's it. Our business is over. Do me a favor, Frank. Take Chuckles over here and take him back to where he comes from.
Wait, Al, I don't think this is
Get him out of here, Frank.
I'll go back there. Hey, Al.
Let's go. Get out.
Hey, Frank.
Take care of yourself, Tommy.
Hey, Frank! Hey, Frank! What the hell? Who did this?
Trouble, boy. Paul can't help you now, boy.
What the hell do you want?
It's time to clean house, Tommy.
You stay the hell away from me.
You just don't get it, do you? You was gonna sell us out. It's over for you here, man.
That's enough.
Who in the hell are you?
Elliot Ness.
Preacher Cobb said you was all right. So we're gonna let you stay and watch.
They're gonna kill me, Ness. It's your duty to stop.
Shut up, Tommy. You're gonna get what's coming to you.
What's coming to him is not for you to decide.
Why in the hell not? We the ones he sold out.
Because Taylor's wanted for kidnapping. A kidnapping that we may be able to prove was ordered by Al Capone. This man's testimony could put Capone behind bars for a long time.
I'll testify, okay? I'll testify he set the whole thing up. Just get me out of here.
What's gonna give you more satisfaction? Killing Taylor now? Or seeing Capone rot in prison for what he's tried to do to your people?
You got a point. It makes sense, Leon. Let's go for the big man.
Come on, Tommy. Let's get to the car.
Went to the rock to hide my face. Rock cried out. No hiding place.
Hey, I ain't testifying against no snorkel. And I want to talk to my lawyer.
Show the road!
Now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to our guest this morning, Mr. and Mrs. Elliot Ness.
The words of the poet Carl Sandburg. The people will live on. The learning and blundering people will live on. They will be tricked and sold and again sold and go back to the nourishing earth for root holds. The people is a tragic and comic two-face, hero and hoodlum. The people hold to the humdrum bidding of work and food while reaching out when it comes their way for lights beyond any hunger and death. In the darkness, with a bundle, a great bundle of grief, the people march. In the night, and overhead a shovel of stars for keeps, the people march. Where to? What next? We have reached out, and together, we have defeated Capone. Thank you.